We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
Crew, welcome to your Monday morning. This is Peaks to Plains weather, and this is Mornings with Meister. I am Matt Meister, and I am going to start off right away with what is the biggest issue across the area today. Severe thunderstorms. This thunderstorm update brought to you by Tamco Building Products, and you can see here a cold front working toward Colorado from the northwest over the last 24 hours, moving across Wyoming. It was part of a severe weather outbreak across eastern Montana, parts of the Dakotas overnight. There are still some thunderstorms ongoing across Nebraska as we begin our day. This front is going to drop to the south, and with it, low-level moisture increases today. And there is a threat for some very large hail, in particular over the Palmer Divide, including northeastern El Paso County, and then eventually into Lincoln County and across Kit Carson, Cheyenne counties, and maybe a little bit farther to the south here as we head late into the day. So I have the possibility of some severe weather for our foothills to the west of the interstate, Colorado Springs and Pueblo. That's if the moisture ended up about 25 miles farther south and west than I think it's going to. I always leave myself a little bit of wiggle room there, but I am pretty confident in where the storms are going to fire up today. So Let's talk about the timing first. The location of storms. So we hit the early part of the afternoon here, and we start to see some convection develop up across northern Teller County, northern El Paso County, Douglas and Elbert counties. That's where we're going to watch for the storms to go in our area. Anything over the mountains farther to the west will be a high base type storm with some virga, some gusty wind, some free air conditioning, and you'll want it today. I'll show you why here coming up in a little bit. But watch off to the north and northeast of Colorado Springs in the early part of the afternoon. So somewhere between 1:30 and 2:30, we're going to see some storms fire. And these will be supercell thunderstorms because we'll have wind out of the southeast at the surface where these storms form, and out of the west, a westerly component to the wind, a southwesterly component to the wind up above that. So there's not only speed shear, but there's directional wind shear in the atmosphere today. Now, this lead storm, the farthest south of these couple of storms that are going to go, is going to make a turn to the southeast here as we head between 2:30 and probably 4 or 4:30 as it moves kind of from Kiowa toward Lyman. That's when not only will the potential for hail near 2 inches in diameter, but that's also when we may see the potential for an isolated tornado. Now, you see this storm across Elbert County. It may be a little bit farther to the southwest than that and may be across northeastern El Paso County. So we always need kind of a corridor versus, the specific location in the models. And I chose the model to show you today that is a little bit farther south and west with everything. So we'll keep an eye on that here. And then that storm will keep rolling off to the southeast, somewhere across Lincoln County as we start to near dinner time. And this model is actually showing a potential for a tornado there with its sort of shape of the reflectivity in the radar. And then as the storm keeps rolling off to the southeast, I think the tornado threat will drop off and we'll get more of a straight line wind threat, and the hail threat probably drops closer to about 1.5 inches in diameter. And then after about 7 o'clock, the storm, I think, will start to fall apart. There might be a couple of storms a little bit farther to the south of that storm that develop on their own across Bent, Prowers, and Baca County. There's some conflicting information on that as of now. Might have a cap in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. I'll do an update here about 10 or 10:30 this morning and give you an update on that. But that's how I think things are most likely to work out in terms of severe storms. And it's a real interesting day because on the southwest side of the cold front, the air is very dry. It'll be a little bit gusty between 25 and 30 miles per hour, and we actually have fire weather concerns, and I'll come back to that here in a second. But where the low-level moisture exists today on the northeast side of the cold front, there is a lot of fuel for storms. And so the storms that do go, I think, are going to be strong like I talked about. There is a threat for large hail. It could be around 2 inches in diameter as that storm kind of rolls off to the southeast. And there's also the threat for a tornado. Like I said, we'll kind of watch northeastern El Paso, Elbert, and Lincoln counties for the potential for a supercell that could produce a tornado a little bit later on today. So that is our threat for severe weather. We've got other things to talk about, though. Crew, how you doing on this Monday morning? Clinton says, happy Monday. Shelly is checking in this morning. She says, good Monday morning. And Ann is checking in as well. Karen says, good morning. And Cass says, happy Monday. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for checking in here with Peaks to Plains weather. Let's talk about what's happening outside this morning. It is a little bit different of a day than yesterday from a temperature perspective because of this front coming in. So yesterday we almost hit 100 in La Junta. Colorado Springs, we hit 91. Denver, we hit 91 as well. Here's my forecast for today in terms of the temperatures. Now, this morning, as the front approaches, we're warmer than yesterday. It is beautiful outside. We've got temperatures in the 60s across the plains, a couple 70s as well. It feels stunning. Over the mountain areas, it's a little bit cooler, as is always the case and what you would expect. Falcon, you're an area we'll watch for the potential for severe weather today. It might be just to your northeast. It's a close call. We'll keep an eye on it. Again, be ready in the Peaks to Plains weather app for that sort of late morning update as we start to see where the front is and where the low level moisture is laying out and what computer models this morning are saying. But you can see the sun is out right now. Humidity is only 31%. We're going to warm up fast here this morning. Woodland Park, we could see an isolated gusty type storm a little bit later on. It's comfortable at 57. In the Steel City, we are sitting at 66 this morning. Walsenburg, we are one of the warmer spots here as we sit at 70 degrees. I think northeastern Colorado is cooler today than yesterday. I think Colorado Springs, we lose a few degrees. I think it's a little bit tougher to get close to 100 today over southeastern Colorado as well. But notice how Canyon City we've got at 93, and some of our mountain areas we get into the 80s today. I think that's more common than upper 70s on the valley floors. You get up on the hillside, we'll find temperatures in the 70s today. So let's jump into the short-term forecast here and talk about not only the threat of severe weather, but some fire weather concerns that we will have out there today. All of our changes being driven by this area of low pressure, the jet streak, a cold front that's all been moving up across the northern Rockies. But that's getting into the plains now, and every time those waves get east of the Rocky Mountains, they want to send a cold front into southern Colorado. So that's kind of what we're watching for here. Southwest of the cold front, we've got fire weather concerns. We have red flag warnings that are up today for the western slope, for Fremont County, for Pueblo County, and Huerfano County. Now, here's the deal over the next couple of days. Not only when we are forecasting red flag warnings do we have to be concerned about the humidity and the wind, one of the factors with it is fuel or moisture in the grasses, the bushes, and the trees. As of this morning, it's only the areas that are in the red flag warning that have reported critical fuels. Because around Trinidad, around the Wet Mountain Valley, and even the San Luis Valley, we will meet the humidity and wind threshold today for red flag warning, but the sheriffs, the other local agencies that report the fuel moisture to the Weather Service have said, hey, our fuels are green enough that we don't meet those real technical concerns for a red flag warning. Fire danger's high the next couple of days. We may see, with the continuation of some windy and warm temps here over the next few days, in particular Tuesday and Wednesday, the continuation of the drying out of some of those fuels. And so we may have other areas that get added to red flag warnings, particularly for Tuesday and Wednesday, when it's going to be windier across the area. So let me show you on the wind speed today. It's nothing that is obscene today, but as we hit the afternoon here and you see southwest flow developing over the mountains, sustained around 15 and then getting up to around 20 here as we hit the afternoon in a couple spots, there'll be some gusts up around 30. And so that's why we have the red flag warning in effect. Notice that east wind over the plains. Those are the spots that we're watching for the severe weather concerns. Now, once we get past about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, we don't have concerns for severe weather. Thunderstorms will be on the decrease. It'll be comfortable again into early tomorrow morning, cool with temps back in the 40s over the mountains and quite a few 60s over the plains. Behind the front, it'll be a little bit cooler than today, though, as we'll see some more areas from Pueblo northward through the Springs up into northeastern Colorado with temperatures in the 50s to start off the day. Still very comfortable, just not as warm as today. The difference between today and tomorrow is more areas get a southwest wind, and that wind is going to be stronger. For some of us over the plains, it'll take until the afternoon, but eventually we'll see some gusts between 25 and 40. There might be a couple spots where it's a little bit windier than that. One of the issues tomorrow, again, in terms of the technical aspects of fire weather concerns for a red flag warning, is the humidity. There's some water coming up in the mid-levels that'll build some clouds in the afternoon, so some of us may stay between 15 and 20 on the humidity, but it's still a high fire danger day, no doubt about that. And currently, my friends at the Weather Service have a fire weather watch issued, like I said, for a few more areas than we have out there today. Wednesday is going to be a windy day as well, with the southwest wind spreading over the region. region tomorrow, we have a better chance of hitting 100 over the plains. Colorado Springs, we get back to around 90. Northeastern Colorado's back into the 90s. So for areas east of the mountains, you see we lose the effects of the cold front from today. Wednesday's not very different from a temperature perspective or a wind perspective or a fire danger perspective. Tuesday and Wednesday will be some of our windiest days here in the extended forecast. So that's through the middle part of the week. Jeremiah's checking in and says, hey, we have stage 1 fire restrictions in Archuleta County. And there are some in quite a few counties. You should check with your sheriff on the officialities of those. Julie says, good morning. Yes, it is a warm spot to the day. Jeremiah says, thanks for covering Colorado. You are welcome. And Laura says, thanks as always for covering Kiowa. I know some of you on the Palmer Divide kind of get forgot about in the Colorado Springs TV stations and the Denver TV stations, so we never leave you guys out. And we try to cover everybody. We really, really do. So, that's something that we take a lot of pride in here, and we have time to do on Peaks to Plains weather. Laura, for you and for everybody in the locations that have the threat for severe weather today in particular, keep your locations turned on in the Peaks to Plains weather app. We can give you a digital shoulder tap and let you know about live coverage we may be doing for severe thunderstorms. We're going to have at least one of our storm chasers out today. Matt Manillo and Blue Thunder will be out across northeastern El Paso County watching the thunderstorms come off of the Palmer Divide and starting to move off to the southeast. So Mary and I will be ready to cover all of that here as we head into the early part of the afternoon. Let's see if there are any other questions from those of you in the chat here this morning that we need to bring up. Stuart says, thanks for the alerts. I have my location turned on. There's a storm in Springfield, Missouri, packing some lightning right now. So Stuart is being taken care of by the Peaks to Plains weather app when he's not even around Colorado. And it does work in other places. You don't get the hand editing of the forecast that you get here in southern Colorado, but it is useful if you are traveling as well. All right, crew, I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our extended forecast and what happens here as we head toward the weekend and into next week. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos country.
Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team.
And now we are honored to be the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos.
Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. That's like 560 in dog years.
To say thank you to our loyal customers, it's employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Our way of celebrating Colorado's 150th anniversary and America's 250th birthday.
American value for American values. You pay what we pay. Right, boys?
That's right. Only at the original Phil Long Ford store.
I love Mav and Goose at Phil Longford in Motor City. Mark Barton has some amazing dogs, and I tell you what, our weather is going to the dogs today because we've got those fire weather concerns and severe weather. Starting on the large scale here, I think that's always important to do when we start talking the extended forecast because weather doesn't just show up on our doorstep. I always start my forecast process on the large scale and then kind of hone down the details into southern Colorado. This week, we'll see a couple of different waves move across the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to really drive our weather. So this first wave, bringing today's cold front and severe weather threat, moves off to the northeast. There's another jet streak that comes into the area for Tuesday. That increases the wind strength tomorrow, like I talked about, and also makes more areas have fire weather concerns. That streak will still be over northern Colorado here as we head into Wednesday, so those will be the two windiest days of the week. And it helps to blow the low-level moisture out of here. So I don't really have storms in the forecast for Tuesday, for Wednesday, even into Thursday, and probably Friday here as we head toward the weekend, as we get a couple of days with the low-level moisture off to the east. And we will stay pretty warm here through Wednesday. In fact, hot. I showed you already the high temperature forecast. I've got 100 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then as this system gets into the northern plains, we'll cool back on Thursday. Get about a 10-degree drop. That should feel nice. We warm right back up for Friday, though, as we get into northwest flow again. Then we start to see the return of some moisture here heading toward the weekend. The other thing that happens over the weekend is we get a sort of longer lasting intrusion of some cool air here as we head into early next week. So we'll get some more heat here. Looks like my data is trying to catch up to the clock. But early next week, we'll get some cooler air to come in. With that cool air Sunday into Monday, we'll have low-level moisture come with it as well. That is a pattern for severe weather. And it's been looking like that for about 5 days now. And as it gets closer, it looks like we'll still have that chance here for a few days. So today we'll watch mainly off to the northeast of Colorado Springs. I'll tell you this, if you remember last week, I think it was Monday, we were talking about something similar and the storms kind of blew up over the northeast side of the Springs. I did an update last week in the middle part of the morning as we watched things taking shape during the day. I'll do that again today. It looks like most of the action will be off to the northeast of the metro area, but you know, it's a 20-mile difference. That certainly can happen. So I'll watch the front come in this morning, see where the low-level moisture is, update it as necessary. I don't have storms in the forecast the next few days. It's high fire danger. Again, on Thursday, we get about a 10-degree drop with the cold front coming in. That should feel nice. We warm back up for Friday, and then we start to see a little bit of low-level moisture or mid-level moisture come up from the south on Saturday. That may take our temperatures down a little bit. And then certainly Sunday into Monday and Tuesday of next week, we do have a severe weather pattern on the way. So Pueblo, hot today, hotter tomorrow, windier tomorrow and Wednesday, then a 10-degree temperature drop or more for parts of the Arkansas River Valley. Friday, we warm back up into the 90s, not as hot as we'll be for the middle part of the week here. We're also watching the chance of some severe weather as we head into the late part of the weekend. And our mountains will see that corresponding temperature drop as well. Warmest and windiest days coming Tuesday and Wednesday. Stormiest days for the most areas coming late in the weekend and early next week. And that's how our extended forecast looks as of now. So, what questions can I answer for you? If you have any for today or for the week ahead, you can put them into the chats here on our live stream early this morning. I want to take a moment to let you know about our live feeds that you can use later on today, maybe to do a report during some live coverage that we may be doing for severe thunderstorms. These are always the same. Put one of these into your phone's contacts for Peaks to Plains weather. vmix.at ZMSJK with the S and K capitalized, or vmix.at 1RJSL1 and the J and S are capitalized. Don't forget the slash in there. What you can do is put those into a browser on your cell phone, and then after that page loads up, you give your camera and your microphone permissions to be used by that website, and then you'll be on Peaks to Plains weather. Mary or I can bring you in. You can do a report on maybe hail that's moved through your area. Maybe you see a wall cloud. Maybe you saw a storm chaser go by. It's neighbors helping neighbors. Peaks to Plains weather is our weather together, and this is how we do that. You can come on and be part of our coverage, part of our show, and we're just doing our normal things like we are this morning. So, there you go. Lisa says, I have a wedding on Saturday in Elbert, beautiful place to have a wedding. Are you doing it at the place that is on the west side of Elbert Road across from the Boy Scout Ranch? I know there's a place there that does some weddings. Will we have rain on Saturday? I don't think so. Odds are looking pretty low. Leticia says, are these highs pretty normal for this time of year? Yeah, in the middle part of June, not uncommon to get these highs by any stretch. So there you go. We're able to answer your questions, and we are thankful to do that. And Lisa says, yes, that is where we are having the wedding. I knew it. I've been through there. It is a really, really cool spot to the south of Elbert on the Palmer Divide. All righty, crew. Whoops. That is it for me here this morning. Thanks for being part of our coverage on Peaks to Plains weather. We appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you are in the spots where we're concerned about severe weather, keep the Peaks to Plains weather app handy this morning because we'll have some active weather on the way this afternoon. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for being part of Peaks to Plains weather. We'll probably see you later today with some severe storm coverage.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.